Welcome, Toastmasters of District 49. And thank you for volunteering to record videos welcoming guests to our Zoom meetings. If you are not a Toastmaster, no problem, but please consider becoming a member. We have over 16,000 clubs in 143 countries. Chances are there's a club near you. Just go to the Toastmasters International website and you'll see a list of clubs in your area. Before we begin, there are certain basics you should know. If you are an experienced Toastmaster, you already know how to modulate your voice and body language at a very refined level. If you are unsure or need a refresher, I highly recommend that before proceeding further with this video, that you view my YouTube lessons about eye contact, facial expression, and vocal variety. These links are provided in the show box below. At this point, I assume you've already seen the Kamehameha Toastmasters website and seen the August 2020 Join Us on Zoom welcome message. If you haven't, I've provided the link in the show box. It's a prototype of welcome messages you can put on your website. You can change a script and jazz it up any way you want. The sky is the limit. But let's begin at ground zero. In this video, I will cover 3 topics: vocal skills, body language, and how to record yourself on your desktop computer or other electronic device. Every speaker needs to be aware of basic aspects of voice. These include volume, articulation, etc. In a video format, the most important role will be played by vocal variety. That's why we'll focus on this first. Many people's voices tend to sound flat. There's very little reason in our everyday lives to dress up our delivery, so many of us fall into the habit of sounding monotonous. That's where I'd like you to make a paradigm shift. Think of the Hallmark slogan, "Life is a special occasion." And when something is special, treat it that way. Throw in vocal inflections and go from drab to fab. Have you ever seen the movie My Fair Lady? Professor Pickering forces Eliza Doolittle to say the words, "How kind of you to let me come," over and over, until she acquires a musicality that sounds very elegant. She's told to emphasize the words kind and let. There's a reason for this. People like to be told they're kind. On top of that, by emphasizing the word let, it acknowledges the host allowed someone to enter his social circle. Now, let's return to matters at hand. I want you to read your script carefully. Make sure you know which words are so important you need to pause, slow down, or accent with verbal inflection. If you choose to annotate your script, I recommend circling the words you plan to emphasize. If you need to use pause marks, use 1/ for short pauses and 2 for long ones. If you don't feel comfortable analyzing which words to emphasize, at the very least, smile as you speak. You'll have a tendency to sound less flat. On top of that, you will also sound clearer just because of the mechanics of your mouth's position. In addition, I think it's important to develop a hyper-awareness of tone. After all, this is a welcome video, so use the warmest tones in your repertoire. You should also sound enthusiastic and make the clearest sounds you can produce. For those of you who are a bit nasal, you may want to visit my YouTube video about pitch and vocal quality. In that lesson, I spend quite a bit of time showing people how to minimize nasality. Another noteworthy item is the sound of your lips smacking when you open your mouth. Let me demonstrate. The microphone will pick up this sound unless you're prepared. The best way to avoid it is to keep your jaw slightly open and your lips barely together. As soon as Photobooth gives you the 3, 2, 1 countdown, you should be ready to open your mouth silently. If you're charming, no one's going to care about the lip smacking. But if the sound bothers you, this is the best way to avoid it. If your script ends up being similar to the Kamehameha Toastmasters website, that's fine. On top of that, you don't have to use the same pace or vocal inflections that I do. There is no one correct way. Make the message yours. Put your personal stamp on it, and your website will shine. Let's now turn our attention to body language. I don't recommend using full body shots in such a short video. Instead, let the visitors to your website see you up close and personal. After all, that's what they'd see at an actual Toastmaster meeting. Why should it be different in a virtual setting? That's why I will not spend any time on posture or stage movement. Let's concentrate on what the camera sees, namely your face and upper body. Eye contact is very important. Make sure you are looking into the camera lens. The expression in your eyes is also key. You should show the type of warmth that builds bonds with the viewers. Look into the camera as though you're looking into the eyes of a dear friend. I cannot overemphasize the importance of this. The expression in your eyes makes the difference between mediocre and great. This is true of facial expression as well. Your whole face should beam the same message of openness and friendliness. When you smile, smile with both your eyes and mouth. We all know when someone is just pretending to smile because their eyes aren't part of the action. Also, make sure that when you record, you feel rested and relaxed. Everything will fall into place and your smile will seem much more radiant when you feel centered. Let me now turn to the pause and nod technique mentioned in my facial expression video. This is a good addition to just about any speech, but you should also take note of shallow head nods. The next time you watch a news anchor, take note of how many shallow head nods a pro makes in combination with full nods. They also turn their heads slightly when adding vocal inflections. Coaches talk about vocal variety all the time, but audiences also need to see visual variety as well. You will enhance your performance much more if you add slight head turns, shallow nods, along with variations in facial expression. Lastly, be aware of the quality of energy you project. Always remember that the audience will tend to reflect this back to you. Your positive demeanor will generate a positive reception. A stiff, tired, reserved one will not. At this point in the training, I apologize for reading this portion of my script to you. It is very time-consuming memorizing the script. That's why I've opted to read the script and summarize it in the show box below. If you have a desktop or laptop computer, you already have video recording software included in your device. Both Windows and iMacs have QuickTime and Photobooth available. Launch the list of all the programs you have using the rocket icon and place the program you want on your dock. If you are using a smartphone to record, you should send your video clips to your laptop or desktop computer. I like using QuickTime because you can create movie, audio, and screen recordings. You will probably use only the movie recording function for this project. When using QuickTime, just go up to File menu and choose New Movie Recording, and your internal camera will set up automatically. All you have to do is click on the red dot to begin recording. Go to Google if you need further instruction. It's very easy to use. After recording, the next step is editing. You can do this on an iMac with iMovie. On a PC, you would use Movavi. Once you've entered the program, click on Create New. You'll be given a choice between movie and trailer. Click on Movie. At that point, you're ready to import the recording you made on QuickTime or Photobooth. Click on the down arrow. Then click on the item on your list that represents your video clip. Then click on Import. At this point, you're ready to drag the video clip down onto the lower part of your screen for editing. When you're finished editing, you may want to seek out feedback from a friend. After that, it's time to export. Look at the upper right corner of your iMovie screen, and you'll see a box with an arrow pointing up. Click on it, and you'll see various options, including YouTube and Facebook. You'll probably opt for YouTube, but check with your Webmaster first. If you experience problems, there are a number of tutorial videos available on YouTube. That's how I learned how to use iMovie. Unfortunately, YouTube videos are not like Zoom. They don't allow me to interact with viewers or answer questions. If you have a question, please type it into the comment box below. I will do my best to answer within 48 hours. The great thing about this format is that future viewers can learn from your questions. I'd like to add that if you have persistent problems with timing or speaking clearly, you may want to view these lessons on my YouTube channel. Go to Speech Tips from Mrs. T for a quick review. COVID-19 has forced everyone to change the way they do things. Toastmasters is no different. But by enlarging your wheelhouse and learning to have a more effective screen presence, you never know what types of benefits can accrue. As Louis Pasteur once said, luck favors the prepared mind. Aloha!